Hello, hello, hello. So, another raid video, and it will not be about clan versus clan, which is finished. In case you're curious, we received two artifacts, a cleansing one and one that will make a crit hit a normal hit before, if you're attacked before your first turn, something like that. They're so, not necessarily worth the work, but we managed to get the W, so that's pretty good. We only had like 20 people actually participate in it. So I wonder if I can get an ancient here quickly. No, that's a shame. We could have done a special little pop of a shard. But what we want to talk about is we have a few potion keeps open at the moment, and they are now at level 20. So we'll jump Arcane keep first. We've got Arcane and we have Force. We can kind of get around to all of them at some point, but it just sucks that they're not open all at the same time. It really makes no sense whatsoever. Have them all open constantly. And it's like, you don't do this with Dragon, Ice Golem, Spider, and so on. So I ran through all these, and as you can tell, it's not necessarily more difficult, but what they have done is they've doubled the time going down. People may farm it in 50 seconds if they've got a way better account, but it isn't difficult whatsoever, it's just going to take you a lot longer. Now, also on 20, we get no more lesser potions, which is pretty good, but I would have preferred if 1920 gave us no lesser potions. Considering they're increasing the levels in the bosses, we should have got something out of it a bit better than just one stage, but we will take it. So I haven't really struggled in any of these stages. And on 20, I put Arbiter in. I'm not sure if she was there before, but she's good. We will get Terminator boost, a little heal. Rotos, who I pulled a long time ago, could be anybody. You could take in like your Royal Guards and stuff. Septimus was just a lucky pull. Nethril, not sure what he's doing here, but we have War Maiden, so I thought let's just throw this team in, almost like the very not free to play team, and let's just see how difficult it is. Let's see if when we hit these enemies, etc., if it genuinely does. 57,000 or probably 75,000 HP for some of these, so HP up a little bit, but it's no more difficult. Your damage dealers, you could take in a couple of cold hearts, which is probably just as viable. I see no problem with it. Might take you a few seconds longer, but that's pretty much all Palladium have done here. There's a few CCs that I put up videos, like Dragon, Ice Golem, Fire Knight, and I haven't touched them yet, purely because Clan vs Clan was on, and I got sucked into Clan vs Clan when I really didn't think I would be doing too much. But I kind of did a bit more than I thought I was going to. So, take a look at the potion keeps, and just see, or just assure everyone that regardless of your team composition, you're still going to be able to do it. They've just made the runs a bit faster. Seer is still really good if you've got a reset, like Renegade, a couple of Painkeepers, to keep them alive. Seer will still take all the waves down, but you may not have to tank in this for the boss in the end. So that's something just to be aware of. And we're a minute and a half. Yes, it's taking us a little bit longer, but as you can see, there's not necessarily a big pile of difficulty here. So decreased defense, hit with Rotos. Nethril was put in. I was going to pick Kale for like the free 2p aspect. But Nethril's good CC in case we needed it. Turns out we didn't. Never thought we would. But he will give us stuns. He will give us decreased turn meter. Oh, we have lost Septimus, which is rather interesting. So do we need Septimus in the team full start? Or full stop? Potentially not, but although he's dead, it's not necessarily a lot more difficult. It is just, it has taken us 2 minutes 18 seconds, my best time so far. So what if, oh, wrong button, I was going to change the team, but let's see, I want to see how RNG treats us on a second run. I still believe that Cold Hearts Royal Guards in the keeps are probably the better way to go. This is just a team kind of threw together. Some champions I used before the level increase, but regardless of your champions, all they've basically done is make all of them a bit longer. It's going to take you a lot longer to do the runs. It'll take you a lot longer to do Dragon, Ice Golem, Fire Knight, depending on what you're doing already. It's a few minutes extra. That's all it is. If you have the team and you have the tankiness, you're just going to be fine. It's just a longer drawn out battle. So 50 seconds and we get a terrible hit from Septimus. Rotos goes in with his A3. You can tell the HP bars of these enemies have been increased dramatically. But as we can only do, we take them down one by one. I'm not trying to show everybody, hey look, I've got 1 minute clear times and all these. It's not feasible for most people. Most people, instead of Arbiter, have Apothecary, and you may have Kale, War Maiden, you may have taken in Shield Guard, depending on your dungeon. A lot of farmable champions are really good, Greybeard's good. So we have champions pretty much for everyone. This is just the ones I've chosen. So Septimus is down again. I'm not sure that's a massive issue. It's got the ads, removing buffs, and the other one will throw up increased defense. This has got increased speed. But as you can see, she'll take her second turn. We'll heal back again. We'll hit that ad. I thought we were going to kill him. We did not. RNG slightly longer this time on the run, but it's still not necessarily difficult. It's just slightly longer. That's all it is. I'm sure that there's plenty of teams, hundreds of teams you could use, a lot of teams I could probably not even think of that would do this content. So rest assured, you most likely have people in your roster that can do this for you. And I do like the fact that it's no lesser potions. I just wish they threw in stage 19 to go along with it. Now, I won't be wasting gems to open keeps. They should, like I say, they should all be open anyway. It's just stupid as all hell that on a certain day a keep opens. I do not understand it. If they were all open constantly, and people were potion farming, you potentially make more money from gem, energy refills, so on. So when we did force, we just did the same thing, 58 seconds, then we did 135. These were singular runs up to stage 20, where it was 1 minute to 51 seconds. The force keep, he has really high defense. He gets increased defense, so threw in War Maiden, decreased defense. Garog, purely because he was a fusion champion. And he's got a provoke, which is pretty good, decreased attack. If we need it, the provoke's just handy, so we don't take extra damage. Not that it's more difficult, it'll just help people that have maybe just started and they managed to do that fusion. They're going to have a means of their team being carried through. Nethril, just for his affinity. If you could use Kale, but he'd be weak affinity. You could use a Cult Brawler, but a single target damage. So it's a little bit of CC in mainly poisons. And again, it's purely just based, Septimus is just based on the fact that he's strong affinity. I normally use Rotos kind of everywhere, because pulled him quite a long time ago, and Arbiter is just a bit of speed, that's all it is, and we're just going to jump right in. We're going to take you through this one. And the run will be slightly longer than it was before, but it's not necessarily difficult. Yes, you might have a team to do it, but chances are in your roster you have provoke. If you've pulled any provoke champion, if you put on a provoking set, could pretty much work the same if you have anybody with AoE. You could put somebody in a stun set, stun everybody, have multiple people in stun sets, then they will never take a turn. Then it's incredibly easy. But I don't see a huge level of difficulty to which that they've increased it. It's just purely we now have slightly longer runs to deal with. So if you want to farm Dragon overnight, stick with Dragon 20, and not unless you have a really good setup rather than doing 25. Although people argue for the energy and ratio of the gear you're going to get, it's better to farm stage 24. Like I say, I haven't done them yet. CVC was on. It sucked me in way more than I thought it would. Used more resources than I thought I would. So yeah, I haven't. Purely just did some spider because of the 2x points. Did Ice Golem and got like 5th or 6th in the tournament. Pretty much without trying, again just for points. 100 points each is pretty good. And as you can see, we've all got HP, we're doing good. We're a minute 40, we're really in no danger. This is about survival, so we could take time and put it out the window. Time is irrelevant. The main goal here is accomplishing or getting the victory. And the only damage is, I'm going to say Septimus and a little bit from War Maiden. My Provoker, his crit rate is a little bit low, it could be higher, but he's defense based. I've made him slightly more tanky. And here we go, 2 minutes 14 seconds. We have a longer run than before. So let's just do that. I want to see if we can get some good RNG. Show you a good run. But there's many other champions you could use to do these. Absolutely. The same with the other keeps and the other dungeons that we'll go through in their own time. We'll go through them all. You're probably going to have the team there. You're going to have the gear sets to do it. But if you're doing it, I would recommend potentially having stun sets, which I have some of, and I feel like they would be a smart move. Just as a CC, unless you're taking in provoke, 100% provoke, just to save the damage, just to make sure if you're not as tanky, you can still obviously fulfill what you want to do. You can complete it. Shatterbones, both of them are dead. They have good turn meter manipulation. If they get going, they can cause your team a lot of problems. That HP balance, perfectly timed because most people are now deceased. So on the boss I'm in at 10, which isn't that bad. Like I said, we're not going for speed here, we're just going to show you that all they've done is made the runs a little bit longer. So your hits do slightly less. And there really shouldn't be an issue. You could take Apothecary in here. You could take in Diabolist, who's a great champion. You could take in multiple different champions that you can get from farming campaign into certain keeps, and they will work wonders for you. So 1 minute 49 seconds, fastest time so far. I mean, I'm quite happy with that. The speed run will come when I pull a Chimar or a Renegade. Then I will consider trying to boost my ego to get that victory time wise. but the keeps are okay. Force keep, if you force keep only sucks if you're kind of new because you will have more magic champions. Ultimately, a plethora of champions that you could use. Obviously, Cold Hearts if you have them. Skullcrown Brachus is good. Sail of the Drakes could go in as a carry, just not in the Force because she's weak affinity. You know, if you have a Light Sworn, you can get the Revival on Death if you need it, if you're not tanky enough. So, even with campaign, there's champions I believe that you could definitely use in that areas. So, I will go and start working on the other dungeons. I want to crack on with some Spider, some Dragon, and try get and do some F2P kind of teams as well, just to see if we can make it work. Hopefully I won't need some of the Legos I've got, etc., or epics, so we can make it more accessible to more people. This is the end of the video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do enjoy the content, please make sure to subscribe. Thank you for joining me on this, and I will see you in a video soon.